Nico Rosberg leaned closer to the screen, his eyes locked on the stream of numbers, graphs, and glowing lines. Something didn't add up. He'd seen hundreds of laps in his life, but this data felt different. The telemetry from Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari didn't show driver error. It showed something much worse, a car that wouldn't behave. Rosberg didn't speak right away. He studied every flick of the wheel, every throttle trace, every brake input. Then he spoke one quiet sentence that sent shockwaves through the paddock. This is a structural problem. In Formula One, those words carry weight, especially when they come from someone who's been world champion. Rosberg didn't just see a bad lap or poor handling. He saw a deeper issue, something that could stop even a great driver like Hamilton from fighting at the front. This wasn't just another off weekend. This could be the start of a much bigger problem. When Nico Rosberg made his statement, it wasn't based on guesswork. It was built on experience. He'd studied telemetry for years, both as a driver and later as a pundit. He knew what normal looked like, and this wasn't it. On Hamilton's data, the brake pressure fluctuated when it should have been stable. The throttle traces showed hesitation. Not from nerves, but from a car that wasn't letting him accelerate cleanly. And the yaw rates, the way the car rotated through corners, didn't match Lewis's inputs. That was the giveaway. The rear end was unstable. It was stepping out when it shouldn't. Rosberg had seen this kind of behaviour before, in cars that were fundamentally unbalanced. He wasn't accusing Hamilton of driving poorly. He was saying the car had a flaw built into it, one that no amount of setup change could fully fix. His tone wasn't harsh, but it was serious, and that made people listen. Because when someone like Rosberg speaks that clearly, people around Formula One pay attention. And inside Ferrari, the mood started to shift. Ferrari took a huge risk signing Lewis Hamilton. It wasn't just about bringing in a fast driver, it was about rebuilding the team's image. After years of coming close but falling short, they wanted a winner. Someone with championship experience. And Hamilton came looking for a new challenge, one last shot at the top. But from the start of the season, things didn't click. The car didn't feel right. He was slower than expected, and the handling felt unpredictable. Meanwhile, his teammate Charles Leclerc looked more comfortable. Fans were confused. Was it just Hamilton getting used to a new team? Or was there something wrong with the car itself? Behind the scenes, the engineers believed in their new upgrade package. On paper, it was supposed to make the car faster and more stable. But in real races, it did the opposite. The more Hamilton pushed, the more the car pushed back. And every race became a battle just to stay in control. That's not how you win championships. That's how you lose them. The biggest problem might be the part fans never see, the flaw of the car. In modern Formula One, most of the downforce comes from how air moves underneath the car. Ferrari designed their flaw to create huge grip, but that design also made it very sensitive. If the ride height changed even slightly, or if the track surface was uneven, the grip would vanish. The rear of the car would slide without warning. This is what Hamilton was feeling. One lap, everything was fine. The next, the car would step out unexpectedly. He had to make constant steering corrections just to stay on the line. It wasn't smooth, it wasn't predictable. And for a driver like Hamilton, who depends on precision, that made everything harder. Engineers call it flaw stall, when the airflow underneath the car breaks apart. And once that happens, the rear grip disappears. It's like driving a car with the ground falling away beneath you. That's not a setup issue, that's a design issue. And it's a problem Ferrari has struggled with since ground effect rules came back. As Rosberg's words spread, the team looked closer at the numbers. And what they saw made them nervous. The rear tyres were overheating far too quickly, sometimes after just one flying lap. That heat build-up meant the tyres lost grip almost instantly. And once the grip was gone, the car became even harder to control. The brake data also looked strange. Instead of smooth, even pressure, Hamilton's inputs showed quick adjustments, almost like he was reacting to surprises. That's not normal for a driver with his experience. The team also looked at the suspension. Ferrari had used lightweight parts to save time in qualifying, but under pressure, those parts flexed more than expected. Nothing illegal, nothing broken, just too much movement under load. That extra flex caused the rear of the car to behave differently, corner to corner. Combined with the sensitive flaw, it was a recipe for instability. And all of it pointed to the same conclusion. The car wasn't letting the driver drive. It was forcing him to react, to save it, to manage chaos. And in Formula One, that's how races, and seasons, get lost. While everyone else debated what was going wrong, Hamilton stayed focused. He didn't complain to the media. He didn't blame the team. But his body language told the story. He spoke less in interviews. He walked slower back to the garage. He looked tired, not physically, but mentally. The kind of tired you get from pushing and getting nothing back. He knew he wasn't driving badly. He knew something in the car wasn't right. And so, he kept working. Behind closed doors, he sat down with the engineers. He reviewed data. He gave feedback. He stayed in the simulator late at night, running setup after setup with Ferrari's test driver. They tried changes to the ride height, suspension and balance. Some helped a little. Most didn't help at all. But Hamilton didn't stop. He knew this wasn't just about fixing one race weekend. It was about saving the whole season. He wasn't chasing headlines, he was chasing answers. Behind the scenes, the team was split. Some engineers believed they should go back to the older car setup, the one that felt more stable, even if it was slower. Others wanted to stick with the new concept, saying it still had untapped speed. The debate wasn't easy. On one hand, the new upgrade had promise. On the other, it wasn't working in real races. They looked at old lap time data. They looked at driver feedback. They tried to find a clear answer, but the numbers didn't agree. Some parts of the car were fast, others were unstable, and no one could figure out why. The engineers felt pressure from all sides, the team, the media, and the fans. But most of all, they felt pressure from themselves. Ferrari had made risky calls before, and it had cost them in the past. In 2018, they lost the title after a bad floor upgrade. In 2020, a bold engine idea led to a disaster season. They couldn't afford another mistake. And now, with Hamilton behind the wheel, the stakes were higher than ever. Every lap, every weekend, the pressure grows. Red Bull looks strong. Mercedes is improving. And Ferrari is still searching for stability. Time is running out. Hamilton didn't join this team just to finish fifth. He came to fight for wins. But right now, he's stuck with a car that doesn't let him. The simulator sessions continue. The engineers keep digging. But until the platform is stable, until the car stops fighting its own driver, Ferrari can't move forward. This isn't about one race anymore. It's about the entire season. And it's starting to look like Ferrari is losing the fight. Hamilton's patience is holding. But for how long? A driver of his level can only wait so long before frustration turns into something bigger. He's not giving up, but he can't do it alone. The team needs to deliver, fast. Because in Formula One, when you fall behind, it's almost impossible to catch up. And every race lost now could be the difference between a title and another missed opportunity. Nico Rosberg saw it before anyone said it out loud. The data didn't lie. Hamilton wasn't just dealing with a tricky setup. He was fighting a car that's flawed in its design. Ferrari thought they were giving him a weapon. But right now, it feels more like a trap. The numbers prove it. Tyre heat, brake pressure, suspension flex, all signs that the platform itself is unstable. And while the team looks for answers, the clock keeps ticking. In Formula One, there are no timeouts. No second chances. Either you fix the car or you fall behind. And Rosberg's warning is still hanging in the air. Fix the platform or lose the season. It's not personal, it's not dramatic, it's just the truth. So what happens next? Can Ferrari solve the problem in time? Or will this be another year of what could have been? Let us know what you think. Was Rosberg right? Can Hamilton still turn this around? Drop a comment, hit like and subscribe if you want more deep dives into Formula One's technical struggles and team drama. Because this season is only just getting started. If you made it this far, you're clearly as passionate about Formula One as we are. So now it's your turn. Do you think Hamilton can still win in this Ferrari? Was Rosberg's warning a turning point or just the beginning of a deeper problem? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you found this breakdown insightful. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the battles behind the scenes are just as intense as the ones on the track.